Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy? Sports and Fitness Rants. I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, man. Got another great video for you guys today, as usual. You guys know the deal on this channel. It's all about setting the record straight, stopping the lies, stopping the narratives, stopping them from rewriting history, guys. And in this video, we're going to talk about Steph Curry once again exposing LeBron James, man. He's exposing LeBron James. Steph Curry keeps doing the things that he does, showing and proving why it was the Steph Curry era that we just went through in the 2010s. It was Steph Curry's era. And how Steph Curry continues to once again show why he should have been promoted as the face of the league all these years. And he shows and proves how his game is much more transcendent than LeBron James' game could ever be. And last night, Steph Curry put on the show, and the Golden State Warriors won their game last night against the Houston Rockets. And what's we going to talk about in this video, guys? You guys know the deal, man. Once again, you guys know what it's about, man. And I want to thank you guys, everyone across the world, everyone across the states, man, that's been supporting my channel. Once again, you guys know I'm truly, truly humble, man, by all support, man. It really means a lot, guys. Much respect to everybody in the membership. Thank you very much, man. The true basketball fans, man. Everyone that comes through and supports the live streams. You guys come through with the donations, man. I want to send a special thanks out to my man, Kay, for coming through again. Once again, my man, Enrique, coming through with the super thanks. I am truly, truly humble. Thank you very much, man, for your continued support, man. And you guys know what to do. Turn the volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll. So, yes, guys, like I said, man, I was watching some of this Golden State Warriors game yesterday, man. And, man, I was pumped up watching it, man. Because, first, listen, this is a really good series. It's been a good series, man. And the game yesterday was really good, man. Like I said, it had some back and forth going on, and the Rockets took an early lead, and the Warriors were down early, and it looked like they were going to get blown out. At one point, I was like, damn, man, I think the Warriors going to get blown out today, man. It just looked like they weren't going to be able to make any shots. They just looked like they were out of rhythm. Jimmy Butler wasn't there. And once again, there's no excuses for Steph Curry, man. He continues to expose LeBron James, who always needs excuses made for him. This is what I'm talking about. He continues to show and prove why he has done more with less, and why it's been the Steph Curry era, not the LeBron James era, man. And why the NBA, right? The NBA media and all these people, the analysts, all the people around the NBA, they should have been promoting Steph Curry as the face of the league, as the best player, as the greatest player, man. Like I said, over the last 10, 15 years or so, it should have been Steph Curry being promoted that way, but instead they've been promoting LeBron James. And what have we gotten from LeBron James? We've gotten mediocrity from LeBron James. We've got a lot of narcissism. We've got the NBA torn apart because of LeBron James, the face of the league. And what you saw last night from Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors was why we continue to say and why I continue to tell you guys that I'll never put LeBron James above Steph Curry, man. And last night, Steph Curry put on a typical Steph Curry type performance. Like I said, captivating the imagination, galvanizing the team around him, right? No Jimmy Butler last night, but there were no excuses, right? The Lakers lose the game the other night. And all I hear from a lot of these people out there, these LeBron James fans, oh, Luka Doncic wasn't feeling good. They're really trying to make an excuse that Luka Doncic wasn't feeling that good. But I thought Luka Doncic was a sidekick. If Luka Doncic is a sidekick, if LeBron James is the best player in the Lakers still, because they keep trying to tell you that LeBron James is one of the best players in the NBA still. It's just laughable. But if he is, then why are we worried about how Luka Doncic is feeling? He's supposed to be the sidekick. According to someone like Mark Jones, he'll tell you that he's a sidekick, Luka Doncic. But LeBron James fans, the media, right, all these people out here, the Nick Wrights and all these other weirdos out here, right, they want to blame Luka Doncic because Luka Doncic don't play defense like LeBron James does. It's Luka Doncic who's not doing X, Y, Z like LeBron James does. Like they're going to go anywhere led by LeBron James. So they can continue to make excuses for LeBron James in year 22. Meanwhile, they've never made excuses for Steph Curry. All I hear from the LeBron James fans and everybody else out there is, oh, Steph Curry didn't do this, or Steph Curry can't do that, Steph Curry can't play defense, Steph Curry this. That's all I hear from the LeBron James fans about Steph Curry, what he can do. And once again, who's ever said that Steph Curry is perfect? I love how LeBron James will always try to tear down other players because they're not perfect, as if LeBron James is perfect. Once again, they celebrate LeBron James as a great husband and father. They really believe that this man is untouchable, that he's unflawed, unblemished, he's done nothing wrong, and they continue to hold him to a standard. So, if you're never held to a standard, how can you have any flaws? How can anyone ever judge you? You're not held to any kind of standard. So anything that you do No one has a problem with it. That doesn't make any sense. But then they'll judge Steph Curry and say, oh, where was Steph Curry here? Or where was Steph Curry there? Or where was Kobe Bryant here? Right? Where was Wilt Chamberlain there? Right? Where was Larry Bird here? They'll always point out everyone else's failures, their flaws, when they weren't there, when they didn't show up, right? When they choked it up. But they'll always excuse LeBron James's failures, which are much more than all these other players that I just mentioned. So like I'll continue to tell you guys, and I'll continue to say, I will never put LeBron James above Steph Curry. I'm done with that. Steph Curry has, to me, surpassed him on the all-time rankings. And as far as the era goes, the 2010s, because, like I said, if we talk about the 2020s that we're in right now, I think we can clearly say that Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, to me, those have probably been the two best, most consistent players over the last, 5 years or so, let's say. So I think we can say that they have been, the Nikola Jokic era, let's say. But as far as the 2010s goes, we're talking about the era that we just went through. That's kind of, these guys are on their ways out, let's say, right? They're the ones that are supposed to be passing the torch to the other guys coming in. And we've talked about how a lot of these guys have squandered this. To me, it's the Steph Curry era. And performances like last night, along with everything else that's happened this season. Remember, this is not me just saying this because of the last night's game. And like I said, what Steph Curry did last night was, like I said, really special. Again, like I said, no Jimmy Butler, no excuses. But this has been a continuing theme, not just this year, but over the last several seasons. Let's think about since 2020, let's say. Since Kevin Durant left the Golden State Warriors, LeBron James went to LA, Steph Curry was in Golden State essentially by himself without Kevin Durant. So what has happened since then? LeBron James won his little weak bubble championship, but how did he win that championship? He was led by Anthony Davis. That's how he won it. He was led there. Remember, Anthony Davis requested a trade to come there. So what did Steph Curry do in the meanwhile? Steph Curry actually won a championship in 2022. Did he not? Yes, he did. And he won that championship without Kevin Durant, right? With someone like Andrew Wiggins, who LeBron James did not want to play with, did not want to help develop, right? Didn't want to do that. So once again, Steph Curry's been exposing LeBron James do this way. A legit championship, not a bubble championship being led by some other player that requested a trade to come save you. No, Steph Curry on his same team, leading his team to a championship after Kevin Durant left. All right? Also, we remember, once again, I talked about the Olympics over the past season, right? We talked about how Steph Curry saved LeBron James and the Olympic team. Because remember, they were trying to tell us and sell that LeBron James was the glue guy. Oh, LeBron James is the glue guy of the Olympic team. Without him, that's why they gave him the MVP, right? Because he was the guy there leading them in the most meaningless games. He was the one leading them in the preliminary rounds, right? In those early rounds when they were playing against the South Sudan and some of these other weaker teams. But when it came time to go against some stiff competition, like Nikola Jokic and his crew, where was LeBron James when it mattered most? He was hiding behind Steph Curry, right? Following Steph Curry. And that's what we talked about. Steph Curry saving the United States team with the performance that he put on, coming through when it mattered most. I mean, listen, guys, I watched the game, and I know a lot of you guys did too. Let's be real here. They don't win the game without Steph Curry putting on a show. Not just with Steph Curry being there. They need Steph Curry to put on a show. And then against France, Steph Curry did the same kind of thing. I don't think that he saved the USA team as much as he did against Serbia because they were getting beat down by Serbia. But in France, he closed it out for the USA team. Kevin Durant as well. Not LeBron James, man. So when you think about all these things mixed up over the last 4 or 5 seasons, man, right? This is supposed to be when Curry's supposed to be on his way out, right? Because they never talk about Steph Curry's longevity or his durability or how long he's been doing what he's been doing. No, they just pump up LeBron James and how long he's been doing what he's been doing. But LeBron James has been, once again, more gifted physically than Steph Curry. So the advantages that LeBron James has had, in his career are not the same advantages that Steph Curry has had physically as far as his size and, LeBron James, 6'9", 260, an athletic freak, right? You can't stop him when he's going. That's not Steph Curry. Steph Curry didn't have those kind of advantages that LeBron James had, and still Steph Curry's managed to do more with less and in less time than LeBron James. So clearly Steph Curry, over the last several years, has embarrassed LeBron, has it exposed him, man. And then we think about the All-Star game that Steph Curry won the MVP in this year's All-Star game. Once again, when LeBron James couldn't even show up. All these people voted for LeBron James, couldn't even show up. So why am I talking about LeBron James and Steph Curry again, man, after last night's performance, man? This is not to, bring, Steph Curry down to LeBron James. I'm highlighting Steph Curry again last night. There was no Jimmy Butler there, guys. I don't think people realize the significance of that. as far as the perception and as far as, the noise around the Golden State Warriors. I didn't hear anybody make excuses for Steph Curry out there. If the Warriors would have lost last night, they would have blamed Steph Curry, right? They don't blame Draymond Green. They didn't blame Klay Thompson. They were blaming Steph Curry. LeBron James never gets the blame. So even to this day, they're still blaming Dwayne Wade. They're blaming Eric Spoelstra. They're blaming what's his name? The owner of Dan Gilbert, the owner of the Cavaliers. I mean, everybody and their mama has taken the blame over the years, right? They're blaming Kevin Love. He's not that great. Chris Bosh, now you have his friends saying that they weren't a big three because Chris Bosh wasn't this and this guy wasn't that. All they do is continue to make excuses, all right, and point the finger at everyone else except for LeBron James. Steph Curry never had those kinds of luxuries, man. And like I said, when the Lakers lost the other night, they started to blame Luka Doncic. Man, Luka Doncic wasn't feeling good. So they're going to blame him. They're going to make excuses for LeBron James. But Steph Curry played last night. The Golden State Warriors went out there and put, listen, the Golden State, the Houston Rockets are a quality team, man. They're a tough team. They're a tough young team. What you saw from the Houston Rockets last night, or what you've seen from the Houston Rockets during these first 3 games, what I've seen anyway, is that they're young. They're young. Someone like Jalen Green doesn't know how to really put it together yet. He doesn't know how to be consistent to that degree, right? To a superstar or a star level, right? That's the only way the Houston Rockets are going to win is if someone like him is out there putting up consistent points, out there being consistent. I think he had 9 points last night. That's not going to get it done, man, in the postseason. So the Houston Rockets were a very formidable defensive team this year. They were a very consistent defensive team this year, right? They've done a lot of things good. They had a really good season. The Houston Rocket fans, they should be really happy with the Houston Rockets and how they're playing. And the season is not over. It's only 2 games to 1. But what you're seeing is the inexperience and the youth of the Houston Rockets kind of coming up. And yes, they have some guys with experience, the Fred VanVleets, the Dylan Brookses. These guys have been in the league for some time now. But your main star is, once again, being inconsistent in his youth showing up. And what you're seeing from someone like a Steph Curry last night is that he's tried and true. He's battle tested. He's been there and he's done that. So him last night, like I said, the Warriors started off kind of slow. And it looked like they were going to maybe get blown out in this game, right? I don't even remember, but they weren't really putting up that many points. If I remember that, I was watching the game. They weren't scoring that much, knocking the shots down in that first half. And like I said, it looked like it was going to be one of them games. But they just kept grinding it out. And, it's funny, Steph Curry talked about that in the post game, which is another area that Steph Curry, has exposed LeBron James, is how they speak on the microphone. And I've told you guys before, sometimes to me, Steph Curry just sounds so, like he just sounds like so monotone to me. Like, sometimes I just, he's got no personality sometimes, but his personality comes out more on the court than it does on the microphone. That's what I've noticed about Steph Curry. Like, you saw him last night. And sometimes this stuff gets on my nerves. He's doing a little shimmy on the floor last night in the third quarter. After he hit a big 3 and, he's doing his thing out there. But that's Steph Curry. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's part of who he is, part of the way that he plays the game with that kind of, joy and spirit. So to me, his swag, I guess, or his personality comes out more on the court. When he's on the microphone sometimes, I'm like, this dude is so dry. But anyway, in the post game, he was talking about, the grind. Like, we just had to stay with it. We were started off kind of slow, and we weren't really making the shots, and we were a little out of rhythm. He said, but we just kept grinding it out. And then in the second half, because we were able to, make some key defensive stops. He shouted out Draymond Green and some of the other guys. Gary Payton stepping up. Guys like Buddy Hield played better last night. Like I tell you guys, the role players typically play better on the road. That's usually where they're going to feel they're at best. Now, the really good role players, the 6 men of the year, the top guys coming off the bench, right? Those guys are usually good on the road or at home. That's what makes them, those consistent type players. But they're still not, a consistent to that degree because that's why they're role players. That's why they're bench guys, not starters or, all-stars or stars. But those guys stepped up. You think about the Draymond Greens who, Draymond Green goes out there and he'll goof up the game, for 3 quarters. And then he'll come in the fourth quarter and make some key stops. But the reason he's able to do these kinds of things and play that game is ultimately because of Steph Curry, guys, and the way that Steph Curry's able to play the game. So the Warriors could be kind of, starting off slow and things are not looking good. But then all of a sudden, Steph Curry can start making some shots, can start freeing other people up for some shots. Then all of a sudden, guys are feeling it. The crowd is in it. You see what Steph Curry does to the crowd there, right? Like, LeBron James ain't got the crowd like that, man. I don't care what no one says, man. It just ain't the same. It's just not the same. Because really, is that LeBron James' home crowd? They're not really his home crowd. Like, where's his home crowd at? Is it Cleveland? Is it Miami? Is it LA? They boo him there more often than not. So when you're talking about Steph Curry igniting the people out there in San Francisco, right, and out there in the Bay Area, it's not, LeBron James don't really have nothing like that. He don't have that connection with those people. I mean, if you think about it, some of those people that Steph Curry has been playing in front of for all of these years now, these people probably started off, didn't even have kids years ago, let's say. Steph Curry's been in the league, what, I don't know, 15, 16 seasons, something like that. So you're talking about 15, 16 years, let's say. Steph Curry's been in the NBA, maybe even longer than that. I could be wrong. But people are having kids, right? People are getting married, right? There are some people who have season tickets. So they're going to these games. They're seeing Steph Curry evolve and grow up, right? It's similar to what people saw Michael Jordan do, Kobe Bryant do, the Tim Duncans, right? The Reggie Millers, right? The Dirk Nowitzkis, the people that play for their franchises, the Larry Birds, the Magic Johnsons. You watch these players grow up, right? Essentially, right? Develop, right? However that might play out. And you become attached. You have a connection there, right? It's not about signing autographs or taking pictures with the people necessarily. It's about you showing up to work for them, right? And being there and giving that effort, showing that love and respect that way. So like I said, you end up having a connection there. Patrick Ewing with the New York Knicks fans. You think about some of these players. That's what, someone like Steph Curry has, a connection with the fans that LeBron James doesn't really have. So, he's been like a mercenary almost, so to speak, over his career, where he could have established that relationship there over those years. Now, yes, people have been able to watch LeBron James on TV and all these arenas. We get all of that. It's not the same, though. Like I said, with someone like a Kobe Bryant, a Steph Curry, a Dirk Nowitzki, some of these guys that played all these years, essentially their entire career with one franchise, from the beginning to the end, the ups and the downs, however that played out, however it went, you develop some kind of connection there, guys. So once again, this is what Steph Curry does when he ignites that crowd last night. When you hear the Warriors, or when you see the Warriors starting to make a run and Steph Curry's doing his thing and the crowd is going nuts and he's turning to them and he's doing his thing, he's playing to them, that only enhances his teammates. It helps the role people. It helps them out. It gives them that confidence to go out there and play that style, right? Because they know that they got Steph Curry there and they know everything's it's going to be all right, so to speak. When you're with LeBron James, you don't really get that sense from his teammates that everything's going to be all right because we got LeBron James here. It's more of a sense like we don't know what's going to happen next. We don't know if it's going to be all right because we don't know what this guy's going to do. Is he going to pass me the ball like he passed the ball to George Hill in the closing seconds of a finals game and put me in a bad spot and make me the scapegoat? Is he going to do that? Is he going to point to me and blame me like he did J.R. Smith? Right? Is he going to take all the glory like he did in the 2016 finals, right? When he said, oh, that one right there made me the greatest of all time, and take all the shine away from Kyrie Irving's shot? Is that what you want to be? Is that what you want to see? So it's not really the same for when LeBron James, the feeling he gives his teammates versus Steph Curry last night. And once again, how there was no one making excuses for Steph Curry. He didn't make any excuses for himself. The Warriors didn't make any excuses without Jimmy Butler there. And like I've said, to me, the only way the Warriors are winning a championship is with Jimmy Butler. They're not winning a championship with Jimmy Butler. You're not beating the Oklahoma City Thunder or the Clippers or a Denver Nuggets team. I don't believe so without Jimmy Butler. I just don't see it happening. So they're going to need Jimmy Butler. And I said, if the Warriors have Jimmy Butler playing like, playoff Jimmy, he's not frail like we see he always is. If he's there and he's playing at that level and Steph Curry is just doing what Steph Curry does, the Warriors have a shot. They have a shot. Because, like I said, Steph Curry can do this, and Jimmy Butler can do some of the other things. You have a Draymond Green there. You have the other guys. Everything is in place, but they need Jimmy Butler there to take the pressure off of Steph Curry. So last night was one game, and Steph Curry came through when it mattered most. They won their home game. They split on the road. All they have to do is win their home games. Easier said than done. Win the home games, you go to the next round. So, like I said, no excuses for Steph Curry last night. He went out there and put in the show. No Jimmy Butler, man, who's been playing really good. The Warriors have been really good with Jimmy Butler. But they proved last night, they said there's no excuses for someone like a Steph Curry. A lot of these other superstars, you hear their fan base always making excuses for them. But I never hear anyone saying that Steph Curry needs more help, right? Or they make excuses for Steph Curry. Oh, Jimmy Butler wasn't there. How are the Warriors going to win without Jimmy Butler? What is Steph Curry supposed to do there by himself with no one else really there that can put up inconsistent scoring or, take the pressure off him like that? Because what Jimmy Butler can do, even if he's not knocking the shot down, because he's not really a shooter, Jimmy Butler, but what he does is he puts the pressure on the defense. He attacks, right? He puts you in position where maybe you're fouling, you're putting him at the free throw line. And also we know what he does defensively, where he can, once again, him and someone like a Draymond Green on the defensive end could create a havoc, could create a mess out there. So shout out to Steph Curry, man, for going out there and leading the Warriors to a big-time win over a quality Houston Rockets team, man. LeBron James playing against the 6th seed. Steph Curry playing against the number 2 seed. All right? Once again, Steph Curry didn't have all this help during the regular season like LeBron James did. He didn't have Anthony Davis there all year long. He didn't have Luka Doncic there with him, right? He got Jimmy Butler toward the tail end of the season, man. And like I said, he had guys in and out of lineup, guys like Draymond Green missing games. All these guys missing games, right? Rotations changing around Steph Curry. All these things. He himself has missed some games this year. And the Warriors continue to grind and fight and battle all the way to the end, to the play-in. And now, like I said, they're up 2-1 against the number 2 seeded Houston Rockets, right? And like I said, the way that they were able to win that game. I mean, also, let's also think about, I know this video is going a little long, but let's also think about how Steph Curry is guarded out there versus LeBron James. There's another way that Steph Curry exposes LeBron James, man, right? So all the things that we just mentioned, but look at the way they guarded Steph Curry last night. I mean, the Houston Rockets got some athletes, man, right? When you talk about Thompson, when you talk about some of the guys that they got on that team, man. What's the other dude's name they got on that team, man? They got a couple of dudes, man, out there on that team. You guys know, like I said, Jalen Green, obviously we know. But they had, guys like Dylan Brooks hounding Steph Curry. They had Thompson on Steph Curry. Like I said, I saw Jalen Green. All these different, Sanguine, what his name sounds, if I mess his name, Alprin Sanguine. I saw everyone trying to jump on Steph Curry, guard Steph Curry, get in the way of Steph Curry, take him off his game and, disrupt him and do this and do that. They're all over him. They're guarding Steph Curry before he has the ball. They're trying to keep the ball out of his hands. LeBron James don't know nothing about this kind of defensive pressure that Steph Curry sees on a nightly basis. They're running Steph Curry all over the place. They're trying to chase him here. They're banging him there. Steph Curry gets beat up a lot more than LeBron James and doesn't have the physical stature to deal with a lot of this stuff, man. Right? And Steph Curry's teams are not getting a billion free throws like LeBron James teams are getting. So when you think about and you watch the way that the Houston Rockets and some of these other teams guard Steph Curry on a nightly basis all these years now throughout his career, the different ways that they look, once again, these are the kinds of things that we talk about. Like certain teams, they're the Jordan rules, right? When you think about some of these elite scorers, guys that are unique to that degree, what Steph Curry does is very unique to his skill set. That's why I say Steph Curry didn't have the physical advantages of a LeBron James, but his skills, his fundamentals, right? The way he's able to evolve and adapt his game, but the way he's able to play without the ball, move without the ball, all these other things help his teammates around him. That helps him to have more of an impact and be more effective this late in his career. Where LeBron James is costing his team victories and his team is winning despite him, Steph Curry is still leading his team to victories this late in his career, man. And once again, Steph Curry didn't need a billion super teams or a billion trades and a billion excuses, a billion foul calls, right? None of this stuff. He didn't need to load manage or flop all over the place. He didn't need to cry and moan and lay on the court and start peeking out. I ain't seeing Steph Curry playing peekaboo. But he went out there last night and did his thing, man. So shout out to Steph Curry, man. No excuses. Getting it done without Jimmy Butler. You guys know the deal, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one.